So your parents bought you a brand new Landcruiser because you got good grades. Congratulations, you must be Asian. And now your next step is getting a dash cam for your brand new truck. You've been looking all over the internet for a perfect dash cam that's gonna do it all. But you don't want an ugly big box stuck to your windshield sticking out like a sore thumb. And you also don't want to cover up your $1,000 factory rear view mirror with a clip-on mirror dash cam. You want something that's going to be part of the vehicle that's also going to look like OEM. I have the dash cam for you. Let's go check it out. So we have a company called Mangoal that is making OEM dash cams for a lot of these Toyotas and Lexuses out there. And let's go ahead and check it out. Let's open up the box. So we have our instructions. Let's set these aside. More instructions, user manuals, zip ties, stickers, set those aside. Right here we have a baggie for our rear view camera. It's got a pretty long extension right here. This is going to go into our main unit, obviously. Let's set this aside. We have another baggie right here. Let's see what's inside of here. So we have a plastic trim tool. This is going to come in handy. And look at this. They give us a 128 gigabyte micro SD card. Awesome. We have a GPS antenna. And we have a Y splitter that is going to be your in-between with your Toyota OEM wire harness behind the rear view mirror going to your dash cam. We have double-sided tape. And this is your OEM shell that is going to have your front camera. Look at this. It's got 3 cables coming out of it. This should be a very easy installation. Here's your front camera. It is covered with a protective sticker. Let's remove it. There it is. Let's move it back here and let's take a look at the 3 cables that you're going to have to connect. One of them is a rear cam. One of them is GPS and one of them is power plug. This should be plug and play. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our rear view mirror, we're going to bend it down as far as it will go. Next, we're going to take our trim tool and we're going to place it right here inside this gap. We're going to leverage it and we're going to pop up this top piece. Once you get these 2 gaps open, you can go ahead and pinch the 2 sides and release them. Next, you're going to have a second piece right here. This second piece is going to go towards the engine. So you're going to take both hands and you're going to use the force of your thumbs and push it forward. Once you push it forward, it should release out of its socket. We're going to take these 2 factory lock tabs off of the OEM shell here. And we're going to place it on the aftermarket shell. Here on the aftermarket shell, let's go ahead and lock these in. We're going to take our aftermarket shell, mind the 3 wires, okay? You don't want to pinch them. Move them above this rear view mirror, and we're going to take this shell. We're not going to slide it on top of the windshield just yet. It's hovering above the windshield about ½ an inch. Once we get it where we want it, we're going to go ahead and press it down. Okay, once we press it down against the windshield, we're going to go ahead and move it towards the back. Clip it towards the back until it locks into place, okay? The reason why we're doing that is because we want to clear these 2 clips that are right in the corner up here. You're going to see what I'm talking about when you get to that point. Okay, you can't just leave it on the windshield and slide it back. You're going to hit those clips. You're going to have to go past those clips in order for you to move it against the windshield and slide it back, if that makes sense. Make sure you clear the 3 cables right here. You don't want to pinch them against the rear view mirror base. On the driver's side, of your mirror console, you're going to have a white connector. You're going to disconnect this white connector by pushing on the lock tab. You're going to take the Y splitter and you're going to connect it to the OEM plug right here. Snap it into place. And you're going to take the other side and you're going to snap it into the Toyota plug. Snap that into place. We're going to try to tuck this in nicely because we also have one more shell to go, guys. There you go. Move it over to that side. That should work. So what I found out was moving the bundle to the passenger side, just like this in an S formation, is going to work a lot better. And now we're going to take our power plug right here, which is a small little black connector, and we're going to plug it into our Y splitter that came with our aftermarket kit. Go ahead and connect these two. So we have two more connectors right here. These two connectors are going to be going to our camera. One is going to go to our rear camera, one is going to go to the GPS. The front camera is already inside the shell already, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. From your kit, go grab your GPS antenna. On the other end of your GPS antenna is this round plug. There's going to be a sticker that says GPS module on there. You're going to look on the shell portion and you're going to look for GPS. You're going to go ahead and connect these two. It only goes in one way, so just keep turning this until it fits into the slot. Once it fits in, go ahead and lock it into place. Once you feel the click, then we can go ahead and start routing this. What we're going to do is we're going to find an empty slot right here. We're going to find the gap that's going to go right here between your headliner and the roof of your vehicle. We're going to use our trim tool right here to help us along to pull the headliner out. And we're just going to go ahead and tuck the wires underneath here perfectly. Next, we're going to go to our A-pillar driver's side grab handle. You're going to have two square panels right here that you're going to have to remove. I'm going to grab my trim tool and I'm going to pry these out, trying not to make an indentation by going from the front to the rear, just like that. Remove it. I'm going to go from the front next to the windshield to the rear. Now we have two 10mm bolts we need to remove. Remove the grab handle. You're going to loosen up this weather seal a little bit here. And you're just going to pop open this A-pillar with your hands. We're going to go ahead and remove this plastic A-pillar. We're going to lay the GPS antenna right here where the speakers are. Inside your kit, they're going to give you a couple of zip ties. You're going to zip tie a clean wire bundle right here where your antenna goes, and you're going to zip tie it against your factory Toyota wire harness. We're just going to go ahead and bundle this up nicely, just like this, and I'm going to go ahead and bundle it up in the middle here. Cut your zip ties. Your next installation is going to be your rear view camera. On the other end of this is going to be the connector side. We're going to take the connector and we're going to go ahead and plug it into our aftermarket shell here until it clicks into place. Once it clicks into place, we can go ahead and do the exact same thing we did with the GPS module by routing it underneath here between the headliner and the roof of the vehicle. Once you get to the corner of the vehicle, you're going to stop because you're not going to route it downward. You're going to go back along here. Once you're done clipping everything, you should have a pretty flush fit. Look at that. Next, we're going to take the driver side seal down here, and we are going to start running our rear view camera along the headliner up here. Once you run your cables here, you can go ahead and start sliding your weather strip back here to hold in that cable so it doesn't keep dropping on you. Once you get to this part, you can just leave it dangling. At your B-pillar grab handle, you're going to get a trim tool, and you're going to do the exact same thing as you did with the front. You're going to pop these plastic covers off. I'm going to do it in a very conspicuous area towards the back portion of the front seat, so it's not visible to the passengers here. And inside you're going to find two 10 millimeters that you're going to have to remove. From here, we're going to take our passenger weather strip down, and right at the B-pillar plastic panel right here, we're going to go ahead and unclip it, just like that. We're going to take our cable and we're going to run it inside here until we get to the back passengers. And you're going to continue to run the cable along the headliner right here. And while you're doing that, go ahead and put your weather seal back up. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and install my grab handles back here. Make sure you don't cross thread these. Go ahead and turn it in by hand first. Covers back on. Beautiful. Now we're back at our C pillar, and we're going to need to pop this panel off right here. Grab our handy trim tool, put your fingers in here and just pop it up. I'm going to route the rest of my cables up here and close up this weather seal. When you get to your cargo area, you're going to have a plastic panel right here. You're going to put in your trim tool and you're going to pry this open, and it just pops down. Pretty simple. You're going to run your cables in here, and as you run them in, you can go ahead and pop these panels back in. Just go ahead and put your C pillar back here, pop it in. Your weather seal goes back in. Make sure your weather seal overlaps the plastic trim and doesn't go underneath. Just going to have to massage it out. This next step, you're going to go to your tailgate. You're going to remove a piece of the weather seal here, right in the driver's side corner. You're going to grab a trim tool, an angled trim tool, and you're going to pop these clips open because we're trying to loosen up this panel. Okay, from here, you can go ahead and you have all this gap right here to tuck your cables in. Once you get to this point, you're going to go ahead and route it towards the top here, removing your weather seal at the same time. Just continue to move it to the top, and you're going to stop right dead center. You're going to put back all your panels here. Grab my plastic trim tool, and you have a clip right here. I'm going to go ahead and pop the headliner down. Okay, you got the pop the head. Okay, and there's another clip right here. You're going to pop the headliner down, and you have one more right here. I'm going to go ahead and pop all three because I don't want to create any stress points, okay? You want this whole entire thing to be flexible and flimsy. This is the top portion of your tailgate. I'm just going to grab a plastic trim tool and pry this piece open and pop it out. And if you take a look at the top of your tailgate here, you're going to have two boots, one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side. You're going to want to route your cable along your headliner here all the way to the passenger side. And the reason why I say this is because if you take a look, the driver's side is going to go to your third brake light, okay? And there's not going to be any access into your tailgate up here. There's nothing. But if you route it through the boot of your passenger side, it's going to go up here where there's a huge opening. And this is going to allow you to attach it to that plastic panel that you just removed, okay? We're going to take a look at this rubber here. Underneath the rubber is a plastic capsule that you're going to have to push tabs on in this corner and one in this corner. Once you hit those two corners, okay, this whole thing should pop out. I'm going to route my harness here through here. Okay, I'm going to only bring in about maybe 1.5 to 2 feet of wire, and the rest I'm going to leave inside the headliner. I'm not trying to create a bundle in my tailgate. I'd rather create the bundle down here where there's a lot more space. Okay, at that point you can go ahead and lock in your headliner. Right here you're going to have a rubber boot without the plastic, and this one's going to be easy. All you have to do is just pull it out. Really, there you go. Just pull it out. And the next hardest thing is actually routing this through here, because you know rubber is going to stick onto rubber. It's not going to just slide very easily, so you're going to have to figure out a way to do it. But luckily we have a very hard piece here that we can actually use to push through. Let's go ahead and route this up here through this boot. Voila. Bingo. Let's put this boot back where it belongs. Bingo. Now all we have to do is just pretty much mount our dash cam. So this rear dash cam has an arrow. The arrow has to be pointing upwards, okay? So if you're looking at this tailgate, you're looking at it upside down, because once this tailgate closes, upwards is going to be that way towards the driver. So you're going to have to point this towards the driver and lock it in like this. So you're going to have to play around with this. Close the tailgate, open the tailgate, position the camera, center it and all that. But pretty much you just clean this spot right here and double side tape it. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, the camera lens is right here. I'm going to take off the protective film. And I'm going to use my third brake light to center it, or actually there's a big hole right here that's going to be the center. And I'm going to know exactly where this cable is going to fall. And it's going to be right here. It's going to go through the plastic panel about right here where this white tape is, the end of this white tape. So when I do put this plastic panel back, I'm going to want to make a notch right here, not in the center, but at least somewhere right here. I'm going to get a little bit of sulfuric acid here and just clean it where I know that dash cam is going to be sticking to. And the good thing about double-sided tape, guys, if you guys get it wrong the first time, you guys can, you know, take it off and use brand new tape. You don't have to, if you screw it and you find out it's in a bad location, you just made yourself a hole. That's never going to go away, right? So I just want to do one last check, make sure the arrow's pointing up. In this case, that the tailgate is upside down. This arrow is going to be pointing towards me when I tape this, and I know exactly where to tape. Don't worry about blocking the camera because the camera does move, okay? Don't worry about that. You can move that later. And I'm going to bring this up to the car, bring it up to the tailgate one more time to position it. And I'm going to go ahead and point it right here, center to the third brake light. That should be good. Okay, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug in my connector, and I'm going to go ahead and tuck the cables. I didn't put this plastic panel back on permanently yet. All I did was just snap it in 1 or 2 clips, and I'm going to go ahead and hide my cable behind here. Beautiful. If I open up the glass, I'm gonna see exactly where the lens is and what angle it's pointing at, and I can adjust from there. Okay, looks good. Now we're putting everything back, guys. Make sure you're not pinching any of your wires. Okay. Beautiful. Grab handle goes back in. You're gonna have a couple of 10 millimeters. You're gonna have to screw in. Do this by hand first with a couple of threads in, so you know you're not gonna cross thread them. Let's put our mirror back up here. Beautiful. So now we're gonna go to the passenger side of your dash cam right here, and you're gonna see an SD slot right there. You're gonna go grab the 128 gigabyte SD card that the company gave you. You're gonna take the chip side, the metal side, pointing inward towards the driver, and the label is gonna be facing you. You're gonna go ahead and slide it in.